Okay, I think it's time to start. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome from wherever you are around the globe. I love to see each of you on the platform. If you're there, please be attentive. Please ask questions. Otherwise, we will be doing this on offline, I should say, for each of you to answer your questions. Fatima is available subsequent to the session at one of our mastermind that she can answer questions on this particular topic. The topic today is a very, very sensitive topic, and I would like most of you to take address and start taking notes on it. We are honored to have this remarkable guest speaker all the way from South Africa, a member of Mental Resilience Mastery, a voice of faith, resilience, and empowerment. Fathima, welcome you. Fathima, all the way from South Africa. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. Let's kickstart with some getting to know one another. I want to start with you sharing your journey with us through to what got you into MRM, by the way. I just want to get a feel of that.
Okay, thank you so much, David, for this wonderful, wonderful opportunity. It's really, really a pleasure being here. So, coming back to your question, why I joined MRM was I've just become a coach. I was struggling to get my clients going. That was almost more than 3 years ago. And I wanted to get some direction because I felt a bit stuck. And a friend of mine that was already on MRM, she sent me a message. She said, please join here. You're going to get really great results. And that's why I joined, because I needed to start getting my coaching business up and running. And it did get up and running once I joined MRM. In a matter of 2-3 months, I started already. And that's what actually got me onto MRM. That was just the start.
Fabulous. What I would like you to do then is to share your part of your story, your background, and what you had done.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Keep going. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Sunita, we seem to have some problems with the voice.
Okay.
Testing.
So I can, but the voice is breaking now and again. I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear you, David.
So can you give us
Yes,
a
I can.
journey through? Can you give us a journey of what you did?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I can.
Sunita, is there a challenge with the voice? Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Sunita. Sunita, are you there? Fatima, are you there? Sunita, we can't hear one another. The voice problem is on the system.
No, our studio and he join again. Not system problems, sir.
So, what you want us to do? Hello? Fatima, can you hear
David?
me? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
I can. Can you hear me,
Okay,
David?
thank you. Now, let me go back again. Let's start all afresh.
No problem.
Because we're gonna splice the first few minutes, about 5 minutes or so. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the platform of 10 News. I've got a great speaker all the way from South Africa, Fathima Rehman, who is going to share with us a topic called the Unstoppable You. Fatima, before we deep dive into your story, I want to know what got you to be participative and involved with MRM, and how did that happen?
Okay. Thank you so much, David, and good afternoon once again to everyone that's joining. And thank you for having me today. So how I joined MRM is I just became a coach and I wanted to get my business going, but I was quite stuck. So I had a lot of I needed to get my mental resilience up a bit. I was a bit low at that point, and so a friend of mine who was already part of MRM, she recommended, please join this. This is going to be an amazing journey, and that's when I did. So it's actually by invitation, and I think I was ready at the time, so I joined, and I've been with MRM for the last 3 years, and I've really felt that it's pushed me in my career as well as my personal resilience in terms of how I overcome challenges and all of that. So that's why I actually joined MRM.
Fantastic. Now, moving from there back again, let me rewind the video a little bit for you to now share your journey from where you were to that point of being a coach and what you currently do with the Unstoppable You.
Okay, so my journey of why I became a coach is because I was I you know, previously I went through a bit of a challenge in my marriage, and that's when I had to figure out who am I, because when we get the challenge we have to question ourselves, who am I, what am I in this whole equation. And that's when I realized that I was in a very low space of self-worth, and self-worth was something that was holding me back in all areas of my life, not only in the marriage, because I felt the marriage was failing. And oh, not only the marriage was failing, I felt that everything around me was failing, and that wasn't true. It was my perception. So when I went forward looking for guidance and I went to do many other courses, I started then to get a sense of self, of who I am, my identity. And that's when it took me to the journey of becoming a coach. It took many years of going through this process of learning and unlearning. And then it got to me the journey of becoming a coach. And I wanted to help other women that were in the same space, that were struggling, because I know it's a lonely place if you don't have someone that's on your side, which I didn't have. I had one person that believed in me, that showed me the way, and I wanted to be that one person for the next, um, all the women that actually needed the help. And that's how I ended up being a coach. It was my journey that took me there, but I actually was looking to become a top international speaker. I wanted to be a speaker. But what actually happened is the coaching came before the speaking, and that is fine. I'm very happy in the space right now, and
Right.
that's why I became a coach, and I've impacted many women along the way with my coaching.
Fabulous, fabulous. Fatima, what was a defining moment for you that shaped who you are today? One defining moment.
I think the defining moment is when I felt in the most, I think, in the lowest space in my life, when I when we had a relationship issue. It comes back to that many years ago, 23 years plus. So that's when we had when my husband and I had a problem where he was had an extra relationship, and that's when he questioned me, who am I, my identity. I had lost myself along the way, and that was a defining moment because I had to sort of pick up the pieces one by one, put them together, and then find my own identity, because I was hiding behind him as a wife. I was somebody's wife. I didn't think of myself as Fatima Abdurrahman. I was just somebody's wife, somebody's mother. I was a business partner, but I wasn't me. And I think that was the first time I had to question me. And that's where the defining moments start. It's like looking inward. Who have I become? Or who am I really, masking behind all of these roles? And that was really a defining that actually spurred me on to find out who I am, which is why I'm so close to find. I'm so like passionate about helping others find their identity, because we lose it along the way. We don't even know
Yes.
it, and we've lost it. So that's
Yes.
really something very passionate. I'm very passionate about. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. And to do that, you should have had enormous strength, internal fortitude to journey through that and sort of come out of that. Correct?
Yes, and I think the thing is we don't realize the strength we have until we're in it, to
Yes.
navigate through. And it's a choice. It starts with a decision that when am I gonna stay or am I gonna go? And if you stay, this is what I have to do. If I go, this is what I have to do. Ultimately, my decision was not to go, but to stay. And then I had to
Right.
take the consequences as it comes. And that's where strength came.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Who or what played a major role in helping you find that voice and the direction?
I think a lot of I went through many different coaches, and also I had a very dear friend who was like a mother figure to me. Somehow the universe brought us together, and I trusted her, and she was the only one who could guide me on the right path, because it's very easy to go off and start doing
Mm,
all the wrong things to take revenge.
mm,
But she
mm,
helped me, guide me, because I had two small kids at the time, to do the right things, and my heart felt right doing those things. If at any
mhm.
time when I had to veer off, or I tried to veer off thinking that would be the better option, I would always come back, because I knew my heart was telling me that's not the right way. So I think
Right.
just having her as my foundation was the first part, and then I went attended Tony. And I attend first I did a course with Tony Robbins. That was a course which I did, a 30-day course. But then I went on to meet other coaches like Peter Heidblum, and then Robin Banks. A major part of my life was spent with him, under his guidance. And then obviously through that Arvin Khan, and now we came to MRM with David Nair. So these are my journey, along with all the books that I've read and the authors that I learned about. All of those things played a role. I don't think it's just one thing, and
Right.
everything had a step up to the next step.
Fabulous. And that's the combination that makes the whole
Yes,
um, ambience here for you to sort of look at different tastes of different, it's like getting a smorgasbord and being
yes.
able to work through that. That's fantastic. Question. When you hear the word unstoppable, what does it personally mean to you?
For me personally, it's about navigating through, no matter what happens, going ahead.
Mhm.
I learned many years before that there's no way out of the challenge. The only way is through it. And through it means you got to really have the unstoppable mindset to get through it. Where it means persistence, it means ownership, it means um, believing in yourself when no one else believed in you. And it means connecting and aligning with all your core beliefs.
Right,
And I think that's what unstoppable you is, really.
right. And because of that, you have now made that your signature program in driving this to ensure other ladies can benefit from it. Am I correct?
That's correct. Yes, absolutely correct.
Right.
That's correct.
Now, is being unstoppable about strength or it's more about adaptability and faith?
I think it's about embracing your self-worth first of all, and then
Hmm.
adapting to who who you become through the process of this challenge. I hope you can
Right.
still see me. Okay.
Yes, yes, keep
So
continue.
becoming through the challenge who you become. So it's also adaptability. It's also about seeing what's working, what's not working, and then still powering through even when you feel something is not working. And that's what makes it unstoppable, because we can't sometimes see how far we've come until we look back and say, okay, but when we join the dots, of course, as Steve Jobs says, when you join the dots backward, you're able to see the journey that you actually come through, even when there were moments when you felt nothing was working. That's
Excellent.
unstoppable.
Yeah.
And that's
And so,
belief. It
so
comes with faith, of course. Faith,
exactly,
definitely. Yes.
exactly. And with the belief that you have that that will ultimately be the case, you then ride with it without any concern. Moving on, my
Yes.
next question with you would be very simple. How can women balance ambition and grace in this unstoppable you phenomena?
Okay, so balancing ambition and grace is simply knowing who you are, your identity, and then navigating through that. How do we make that identity become something that we can live through? And not, it's not about arrogance or being forceful. It's about standing in your power. Even if it's a silent power, you can still stand in that power and command the respect that you deserve and
Hmm.
stand for what you believe, not neglecting yourself, not neglecting your family, not neglecting your spouse, but still embodying that strength which you have enough to give to everyone. But then we come back to self-care. So it's about unconditionally loving yourself first, and then you can unconditionally love everyone else. Because what happens, we're always looking for validation outside and waiting for someone to say, oh, you're doing well and you got this, but it doesn't come. And then the self-worth depletes, and then we feel like we're a failure. So unstoppable you for me, helps me help others as well as myself to find that strength within you, find the core beliefs and live by those beliefs, irrespective of what others say or don't say. And I think that's how you balance the grace. Obviously, trusting in your God, in your Creator to guide you, because He's the ultimate guide, to guide you when you feel like you're really at a lost space, knowing that He will guide you and knowing that you are not alone, but also making sure you do the right things that will obviously work in hand, it aligns and you on the right space. So I always feel if you do things with the highest purpose and greatest goodness, then your decision will be correct. Because not only it's not selfish about me only, it's about what happens to my family, it's about what happens to my everything around me. So that's where balance comes in. And
Exactly.
ambition is also just a pillar of that. It's just a part of that. Everything else has its own space.
Yes, yes. And without that, ambition is fruitless. So that's the key point.
Yes, yes. You need to have the
Fantastic.
balance.
Yeah. Now, moving in from that particular aspect, what does unstoppable you, I'm coming back to this because I want people to understand this, truly mean to you? Not the word unstoppable, but what does it, the essence of it? It's more than motivation on the surface, it's more than confidence. What is it inside that triggers this and burns like a fire?
I feel it's the purpose. Basically, when you have that unstoppable attitude that I will get what I want as long as it's for the good of everyone else, including myself, then nothing deters you. It's that inner belief, inner um, guidance that you've got. Your conscience is constantly guiding you, right? And
Yes.
as you, if you've set a goal for yourself, but you know that it looks so far fetched, but you know you still want it because it means the world to you, it means everything to you. And if you don't get that, then it means your core beliefs don't stand a chance to survive in this. So
Yeah.
when you in alignment with your core beliefs and you move towards your purpose and your goal, then you become unstoppable. And that is just really saying it as plainly as I can say it.
Right. Um, Coming into your program, what was happening in women's life that you experienced, whether it was in coaching or interacting or networking? You found there was some form of pain there that made you feel this course was necessary. So, what was it?
I think in my journey as a coach, I found women were going through lots of negative, feedback from everyone else. So the self worth was definitely impacted, and then also they were held back from a lot of things in their life because they felt we can get to cultural conditioning about this, because in the community we live in is certain expectations are required from a woman, but it doesn't
Yeah.
always align for what with what we want. It's aligned with what everybody else thinks is the right thing to do or the right thing to be. And women are a lot of times expected to be passive and to be just subdued, and don't stand up for yourself, don't say anything, rather just don't rock the boat. I mean, I was also in that space where don't rock the boat, rather just let it be as long as everything's peaceful. But inside there's like a war waging within me. And I think that's where we need to start to question what is happening. Is this really, this is not, something doesn't feel right.
Right.
So that's what I feel like. That's how you actually start to find that burning inside of you, that something doesn't feel right. I need to find my purpose through this. And all the experiences we have that affects us, and I've seen it with women, that it brings them to a space where they need to question, and then they go forward. They find a purpose, they find something that's driving them forward, even though they are happy in their space, but something that's pushing them forward. And that's what we need. That's where meaning comes into life. You're not just living, you're actually living a purposeful life. And I think that's where Unstoppable You can also help women that are struggling with, they don't have meaning. A lot of times I find women that find, I don't have any joy in my life. I have everything I need, but I don't find joy. And that's where we're missing something. There's a missing link somewhere. And that way we start to introspect a bit and figure out where's the missing link. And then we find that and we drive it forward. And that's what I think I can do with Unstoppable You. Definitely.
Fantastic, fantastic. Can you share a moment where you almost gave up, an instant,
Yes.
please?
There's few moments that I almost gave up. When I thought, and I'm going to divorce. I'm going. There's no other way. I've tried. I've done my best, and then I would pray to God to guide me. Please give me some kind of a sign. And we have a prayer which we actually do for guidance. And when we sleep and we get up, we get the answer. It comes in the form of a dream. And I did that. And the minute I got that, it was faith. There's no doubt like that I'm gonna think, is this really true or not? I trusted my God. I trusted my Creator to guide me, because I asked with faith that He will give me the guidance. And that's when I got the answer to say, it's going to be okay. Just stay where you are. You're going to be okay. And that's carried me a long way. And then at the point again, I got to a junction when I felt, I've tried, it's not working. And the second time I did this again, it guided me. And when I got through that wave, that last wave, actually the vision was so clear that I couldn't even believe I was already past that space, which was so low in my life. So what happens is I went through life and going through it without realizing I've already passed it. Someone actually asked me, do you remember that you were looking for this and you actually got it? And I actually had to sit back and say, you're right. Because we don't acknowledge the wins. We're just working to the next step.
Yes.
So very important to acknowledge the wins. That was my defining moment. Yes, that definitely. Very small,
Fan-
but very, very important.
Yeah. You know, when you were in that state, you mentioned the word state, in that state of doldrum, I
Yes.
call it, okay?
Yes.
What kept you going? What was the flicker of light flame that kept you going?
My goal was, when I got married, I'm gonna live through this till I grow old. There's no doubt. That's it. That's the vision. So it's the vision. So the vision kept me that this is my life. I've been given this. I need to make the most of it. And for my family, it's really important for me to keep the family together, children together, husband together. However else I'm going to do it, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to give up. There was no, that's that sign of never giving up. It's like a yellow flickering sign that said you can't give up. There is no question. You can't just give up. Even when you want to give up, there's something can say you can't give up. So I think the resilience, persistence of having that vision and the purpose and the goal, that kept me going. And that's when I got to find the people that I needed to meet and learn
Right.
the things that I needed to learn. That's how
Hmm.
it went forward.
How do you handle self doubt or criticism while you went through that? Obviously, your inner circle were pointing the finger, your external
Yes.
circle was standing back and doubting and looking at you with skepticism. How do you handle that?
Yes. I walked around with shame, firstly, shame. And I felt I was a failure because I couldn't keep my marriage together. I took everything as my fault. But then I realized at a point, I didn't do anything wrong. I was just being a wife, trying to keep this together, doing the best I could with what I knew at the time. And then I
Right.
lifted my head up and I said, I don't have to be ashamed of anything. I'll just stand up and stand in my power. My psychologist always told me, stand in your power. You don't move. Let everybody else move around you, but you don't move. You stay in your beliefs of what you believe is right, and everybody else will move around you. And that's exactly what happened. But that's how. going through that moment of being feeling ashamed and not even knowing why, I had to come to terms to say, I'm not even at fault. It's just the situation is the way it is. So I changed perception. And when I changed perception, I could actually do what I wanted, and then not being apologetic for anything that I did because I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was only doing the best I could for what I believed was right, for what I believed was my right to have, was to have a family that was together. And that was very important to me.
Yeah. Now, when that was happening, did you have a support structure that you could bank on? And if so, how did you filter whatever was given to you to ensure you're actually pointing towards a northern star, your goal, your aspiration? How did you do it?
Mm. So I had a support structure, very small support structure. I had one lady that was my friend and everything. My parents were there. I never shared with them my problem, but I knew that they would be there. In fact, my dad always said, if you need anything, please come to me. But I wouldn't because they were older and I didn't want to burden them with all of my problems. But I knew in the back of my mind that they were there. So
Mhm.
these two very good anchors in my life, my parents and my friend, were guiding me. I also had a good friend. She always gave me the right direction. I had two friends. One friend would tell me go do this, and one friend would tell me do this. I would know better who's the right one because you trust your heart, or your heart will never guide you wrong. And
Mhm.
so I had a few anchors. And when I joined Robin Banks, then I had a lot of other friends and it was a very positive, vibey atmosphere. So your state goes up, and you share, and it's a moment where you know you're not alone. You got people on your side that are guiding and that are helping me. So that's how I survived this. I don't think I could have done it alone. Alone, you end up drifting all alone, and then in fact, I had a song that I used to sing. I'm drifting all alone all at once. That was a song I used to sing with passion. And when I stopped
Right,
singing that,
right,
yeah.
right. Deep diving again, I'm going into the same subject for a reason. Why do you believe self worth is a foundation of everything in a woman's life?
So self-worth is the foundation for humanity because everybody needs to have self-worth.
Hmm.
Mothers, fathers, children, adults. So it's male and female. But I feel for women, it's very important because women are the pillars of their families. They are the
Yeah,
strongest pillar that their families can count on. It's like the mom is going to be there to catch me when I fall.
right.
She's there to encourage her spouse when he's feeling low. She's there to help the kids when they're feeling low. She's there to keep the families together. And if she's not together, then everything else falls. So I
False.
feel very, very important self worth for every individual, especially for the women, because we are going to be mothers. And if we can't take care of ourselves, how do we impart that to our children to have self worth? Because they are also going to be mothers and fathers in later lives. And family, that's where family support becomes we depend on our family to be there for us in the hard times and in the good times, and that's where the mother fits in. So you can be a mother, you can have other roles as a female, but I think the mother, being the motherhood, is the strongest pillar you need to be, and being the wife of the home is what keeps the home. I always feel a woman can break a home or make a home. So if you make the home, it means you need to be really, really strong to navigate through these kind of things. And when I say break the home, it means you don't have anything to stand on. So there's no one else that can help you because you need to be there for everyone else.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it is the way it is because God made us that way. We nurturers. We are there to support each other, and we're also there to carry the babies that are born. So if we're not strong enough, how do we navigate through that? So mothers share a very, very important role in this world. Not only mothers, women generally, because we are sharing that role and we are navigating through everything. We are still keeping ourselves strong. And if you don't have self worth, if you can't see value in yourself, then no one will able to see it unless we see it ourselves, and then we impart that to others. So the energy we give is going everywhere else. And your home is your home where you are. It's a sanctuary. It's a place of belonging. If you don't feel secure in your home, then where do you go? I mean, that's for the
Yeah.
moms, for the children, for the fathers, everyone.
That's very, very well put, Fatima. If I look at it and now address from self-worth, the connection between self-worth and validation and approval seeking and
Yes.
self-betrayal because you went through that journey.
Yes.
How would you explain that link that's engulfing all four of them?
Okay. So self-worth is the foundation. It's where we can look within ourselves to know that we are worthy, and we don't have to prove ourselves over and over that we are good, that we are worthy. We just know it. So all of us were born on this earth with self-worth because God created us the best. He only makes the best. So we already had the self-worth, but when we experience the challenges in life, we lost that. We might have lost it. And if we don't embody the self-worth, then we start to self-betray ourselves. So that's where our core beliefs are misaligned. What you believe in is not what we act. What we do and what we think and what we believe is completely not in alignment. So that's where we start to betray ourselves. And then when it comes to looking for validation, is because our self-worth foundation is very, very, very weak. We don't believe in ourselves anymore. So we look for validation outside. And when we don't get the validation, the self-worth even depletes further. And when we do get it sometimes, even though it's there, we still don't believe it because our foundation is not correct. So depending on the self-validation, on the outside validation, doesn't doesn't strengthen us. We start to believe our own self-worth by finding out our identity, finding out what's making us who we are. That's how we don't have to depend. It's good to have the external validation. It's lovely to have it, but it's not necessary to have it. And that's where we as women, a lot of us are looking for that outside validation. The outside validation doesn't come in, and then we think, "Oh, I'm not good enough. I can't make it." And these are the thoughts that start to believe, and it becomes a nervous system issue. It's a part of the nerve. It's so normal. It's so ingrained, entrenched that we are in hot water. We don't even know that we are because it's so comfortable. So that's where we must avoid external validation, because then we start to betray ourselves by self-betrayal. Because I know I went through the situation where my husband told me some things and I would feel bad, but that's not the end of it. I would make myself even worse because I would
Yeah.
put myself even lower. That's self-betrayal. That's when you can't stand up for yourself. Then I think that's the lowest you can go. But it happens a lot. And just the awareness takes us out of it to realize, you know what, I'm doing this, but I forgive myself because I didn't know better. Now I can do different. I can do something else that can help me lift myself up. And then I can go
Right,
forward.
right, right. How important is faith and spirituality in playing and helping you to stay grounded?
Faith and spirituality is connecting with yourself, firstly, knowing who you are, connecting with the inner part of us. And that's where we connect with our subconscious, and connect with infinite intelligence. So we know everything already. We just have to tap into it. So when we tap into that, we start to get answers, like for questions we don't understand, like why am I here? What is my purpose? What do I need to do? What do I need to, is there something I'm missing? What am I missing? These are questions we ask with faith that we will get the answer. And we do get the answer when we are ready to receive it. So we only get it when we are ready. And that's when we must be very, very strong in spirituality. Now, spirituality is where we can sit in silence and just be with ourselves, very, very comfortable. And in the beginning, it's very challenging to do that because we're not used to it. But once we're used to it, which we do, like on Fire to Wire every day, we sit in silence and just be in that moment and start to listen for the voices which are there, which we never heard before. Listen for those voices which are guiding us. And that's where your faith strengthens and your spirituality strengthens. And together, that's a guide. It becomes a compass. And that's where we can actually, it helps us to go forward. It's an armor, it's a tool we use to go forward. So very, very important if we can tap into that. And it comes with time, of course, not immediate.
Yes, yes. For members out there who are just hearing Fatima use the word fire to wire, that's an arm of mental resilience mastery, which is a kickstart for the day of each person, In South Africa, they run that at 4:45, 5:30 in that period in the morning. In India, it's the same time. Because of the time zones differences, we run it twice, once in South Africa and once in India. Now, what happens in that is exactly what Fatima just covered. There's a lot of silence time, meditation, a discourse amongst people on a particular topic, which is brought up for the day. And through that self reflection, you're going within to search in quest for answers. And that's where tapping into your subconscious plays a magnificent role in actually guiding you. So, for those who are out there, that's what it means. Fatima, let's deep dive further. How important, now that we've got into that silence time mode, is some of the tools that you use? And would you like to share some of them? We are going into detail, but just skim through them and explain how some of them had impacted you.
Sure, thank you, David. So a lot of the tools that we use from MRM are like introspection is my favorite because I deep dive into myself. And then we have the no negative, NENN, no negativity, no excuses. So it's just helping to clarify what is priority, what is not, and there's no excuses. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way to do it. And then also it's the journaling, so we journal at nighttime to let out emotions that are stuck and also get more clarity for tomorrow. So we plan the 6 tasks for tomorrow and it sets our mind up for direction. So when we get up in the morning, it's not like, oh, what do I do, and you're scrambling everywhere. You already know your sub in the nighttime, your subconscious already planned for you, this is how you're going to do it. And you have to do it with faith that your subconscious is going to guide you because it's doing it anyway. It's at nighttime, your all the channels open for your subconscious mind, and that when you put in information at night, it navigates, it files it, and it gives you direction in the morning. So in the morning, you're ready for your day and you don't waste time and go think, oh, what do I have to do? I think the biggest thing is making decisions easier is when you set your night time for the morning, and then you already don't have to decide, because I think indecision takes so much time to navigate. You're leaking a lot of time. But when you've already got it down, you just go, oh, next, what's next, what's next? And we also learned is to do it through the Pomodoro technique, as we've learned, so that you take breaks in between your tasks, your 6 tasks, which is obviously linked to purpose. We take breaks through that to navigate, so that when you take that break after 25 minutes or 20 minutes, just a break to breathe, do some neck exercises, and just get away from the space we worked in. And then you sort of get some refresh ideas. Like it's like you refresh your computer, you refresh it, and you get some great, brilliant ideas which were not there before. So your mind gets a break. And I think there's a misunderstanding. A lot of people, even for kids that are studying at school, they think we gotta study 2 hours on nonstop. But by then your brain is half dead. It doesn't want to take in anymore. But when you do the breaks, like we learned on the Pomodoro technique, that's a very, very important thing to do. So we've learned that some of those techniques to get more insight into your life and to get tasks done, and time log how to plan your day and plan your time so you don't waste it, and balancing your 4 quadrants. So we got 4 different quadrants in our life. It's the career, it's the family, it's spiritual, it's social, recreation, and we need to have that wheel kind of round for it to balance. But when one side is out and one side is absolutely zero, then your wheel is definitely not going to move as quick as you want it. It's going to break down. Your car is going to break down. Your car of life. So that's a few of the things that I mentioned that I'm quite aware of, that I use often. And there's so much, 90 modalities. I mean, we can't cover everything today, but that's some of the things I could recall quickly offhand.
Thank you. Thank you. And the interesting thing is, because you have that smorgasbord of tools to fall onto,
Yes.
it's a comfort zone, because then you understand if you're in a problem, you're in a situation, you're in a circumstance that you need to get it fixed, you know where to go for it. And that's the power of what you have. And many don't realize that. Basically, when you understand that, you're in control of your life. Your northern star is pointing in the direction that you want to get. And many still don't understand that. They're still meandering through life. So my key point now is, how often do you actually revisit that purpose and revisit your goals And what is the process you would go through to get that in shape and put in place?
So, David, every day when I sit down in the morning, the question I ask myself is, what can I do today to move my purpose forward? And that's the answer. The answer that comes is something that's linked to my purpose. So that means I know my purpose. It's always on the top of my mind. When I make a decision, the purpose is always there. Is this linked to my purpose? I may not ask that question, but subconsciously I'm asking the question anyway. It's auto suggestion. So when I say, what can I do today to move my purpose forward? My purpose is already in that sentence. And then I make the decision that this is definitely going to move. Like the other day, I had to decide what's going to move my purpose forward. And the only thing that came up was for me. It was for me to do something for me because I was so like I had a lot of stuff to do with Eid preparation and all that. I never took time for me, and that day was for me, which is also a part of my purpose. Because if we are not here, then how do
Yeah,
we take the purpose forward? Of course, as we learn in MRM, you are the most important person in your life. And that was just one example. But every day I look at my purpose, every day I look at my goals, and every day I decide what's the one step forward. Even that one step consistently takes us forward. And we don't have to do everything on one day. We just do one step consistently that takes us forward. And that's how life unravels its own self.
yeah. Having that in a platter now allows you then to look at the unstoppable you and connect the two, because a person that's in that unstoppable you situation, unless some of these tools patterns are there available, they're going to have burnout and they're going to have breakdowns,
Yes.
they're going to have depression. So that's a connectivity. Now, how is that being structured for you in your program of unstoppable you? Would you like
So
to share that?
we focus on the points that are holding us back, and a lot of time it's negative talk, it's self doubt, it's all the beliefs we have, the limiting beliefs that we have that is holding us back, which we're not aware of, which comes up when we want to do something. Then we realize, okay, we're self sabotaging or we self betrayal, and then also the core beliefs that we have, navigating through that to say this is my core belief and how am I living out this core belief, or how am I not living it out, and also um, having the wrong people around you, so then you
Mm,
sift out who is good for you, who's not good for you, subconsciously, and structure your life around the people that actually empower you, not disempower you. And then there's also things like being unsupported and unloved at home. So if you're not having the support and love you need at home, then you need to find it elsewhere in a very good, empowering atmosphere. And a good environment which supports you and guides you, because a lot of times we want to do certain things and we're looking for approval and someone to say, okay, yeah, I think you can do it. And it's not the people that are at home that can give us that encouragement. It's outside people that are thinking like us, that want to move forward. So we need to find out who and that's why we have groups like MRM, and that's how we have groups like Unstoppable. You have also got a community of women that we meet every fortnight. So we build this group, we build each other so that we have each other's backs. So there's so many. These are just a few of the pain points which I mentioned, and also like just taking care of self, like I mentioned, the self introspection, taking care of like silence time and making time for ourselves. These are self-care things which we must do on a regular basis so that we can sustain ourselves and then sustain what else we want to do, because obviously we are the most important part. We are the nucleus of that whole life of what we're living through. So these are some of the things we channel through in Unstoppable You, and we find the solutions. So that's why Unstoppable You helps us to find the solutions to those negative things that we experience, like self doubt and negative talk, and constantly berating ourselves. The tools of how to overcome that. That's what I teach you. What I teach you on Unstoppable You.
fabulous, fabulous. How important, now that you've said that, and the community of ladies plus MRM plus other communities out there, how important is sisterhood in all of this to help cement the unstoppable you as an anchor?
I think if we support each other, then we have each other's backs. So everyone feels a similar thing. If we're all going through certain pains, it's similar. It may be different areas, but it's similar. So if we understand each other and if we are empathetic and we are there to support each other, then sisterhood is what takes us forward. But it's easier said than done because you're not going to find
Mm.
everybody in that same boat. You'll find people
Yes.
that are willing and some people that are not. And that's where envy, jealousy, and all of those things come up. But then that's not the right crowd. You need to hang out with the eagles. The eagles are the ones that are the right ones for you. That's when your heart will tell you, this is the person that I like to hang out with. Or I don't feel comfortable with this person. I'm going to break away. And that's where sisterhood, if you have the right sisterhood, that's important. Finding the right environment that will give you that push up towards who you want to become or your identity, and also not forgetting the people that are behind that we need to pull up as well, not only the ones that are pulling us. So it's a thread that carries through, and that's how sisterhood comes. It's not only linear, it's diagonally as well, it's upwards as well. So and that's the law of the universe: what you give you shall receive. and
So
um, and that's how it works. There's no other way.
correct. Fatima, what advice would you give to a woman who feels stuck or in a situation of burnout, going through so much in her life that she just wants to give up?
I have somebody like that right now at the moment as a client of mine, and she's going through that. So the advice is first, know where you are. First, acknowledge the fact that I'm here. That's the biggest thing. Sometimes if we're in denial, we won't able to get the transformation. So knowing where we are and then reaching out. So she reached out to me to say, I'm in the situation, I need help. Reaching out is means I'm stretching my hand forward, and I'm gonna stretch my hand forward to pull you up so that you've got support. So the one thing is reach out for support. Don't sit there alone and hope that it's gonna change. If you don't make the change, it won't change. So you gotta reach out for help, and because when we force ourselves upon someone, they retreat back. So if you are somebody that might be stuck somewhere in your life and you need the help, it's not a weakness to ask for help. It's actually strength, because you're looking forward to the next level in your life. You're looking forward to it. And if you're not feeling like so confident to be able to get the next step in your life, just know there is somebody out there that can help you if you're willing to take the help. And when you reach out, when you have that person in your court, you can do anything because you know you've got somebody that's on your side. Now, if you don't have somebody that's on your side, all you can do is look at your life right now and decide, my choice. I can stay here. What will be the consequences? Or I can make the change, small changes. Looking within yourself, start taking care of yourself. The smallest things you can do, and then you start to change that vibration which we're carrying. Which the vibration we're carrying is negative. It's bringing us down. It's very heavy energy. But when we start to change something for the positive, even if it's a small change, it'll lift the vibration up, and you start to see things a little clearer. And then you can ask for help, and if you can still manage, get books to read, join a group, whatever it is, that you find the right environment, because your environment it's key, it's everything. You can have the right environment and get up, or you can have the wrong environment and just go down and spiral further. So I think that's the most important thing, is having the right environment.
Yeah, yeah. Now, let's deep dive further. If a woman out there today, a lady out there today, watching this, she feels she's lost her spark, what would you suggest she do? Where would she begin?
Okay, I would suggest, if you lost your spark, is to think of, first of all, think of who you used to be, because you had that spark. It's still in you. You just it's hidden. It's not lost. Nothing is lost. Everything gets transformed. So it's just hidden. And if you can start to understand who you were before you lost the spark, then you acknowledge the fact that you did have it and you still have it. And then I'd really encourage you, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. Let's see where you are. Let's just see where you are. Let's see what you want in your life. And let's see if we can bridge that gap together, whatever that may be for you. And that's absolutely a free consultation. You don't have to pay for that. I'm offering it to you free. So if you have that situation, reach out. I'll be happy to just take you through a conversation of 30 minutes, and we're able to give you some direction. Even that conversation will give you a bit of a spark. That's what you need to start going forward. So that's what I can suggest at the moment. Yes.
Fantastic. What are the daily habits you would encourage, or the mindset shifts that you would encourage in a lady to stay unstoppable? Just a
I think
handful.
Yeah, just take care of yourself first. Make sure your self care needs are taken care of, that you eat well, that you exercise, take care of yourself first. Also, journal your thoughts out, because it lets out the emotion that is stuck. We are very, very emotional women. Women are very emotional. We hold on to a lot of things. But you let it out, you feel a bit of air to breathe. Call it psychological air. You let it out. If you have someone that you can talk to, that you can trust, speak to that person. And so if you let out some of that, you're able to function better and become a little bit more unstoppable. And then look at your goals, those things you packed away when you got married or whichever year it was, pull it out and see, listen, what can I do that will bring your spark for sure? Because it's something that gives you passion. It's something that makes you want to get up in the morning, even if it's something small, but just then look for that. What was that? And start to look for a way forward. And if you start to look for the way forward, it will come to you. These are little things that you can do. And I think read a lot. Reading is so important. It builds your vocabulary, it builds your mindset, it builds the way we think. We change perspectives. And I think listen to a good podcast. I listen to Napoleon Hill. I listen to a lot of Napoleon Hill, Jim Rohn, all of these amazing speakers. They give you a lot of direction. If I do it every day consistently, then I start to look forward to it, and I start to build myself, even if it's one small, like 1%. That's all you need, is to grow 1% every day, and you'll find in 365 days it's not going to be 365%, it'll be much more. It's compounded after that. So you'll find that you've made a change, and you track that. Track that what are you doing that's working for you, and what's not working, let that go and try to find something else to replace that. Also, the way we talk to ourselves, the words we use, very, very important, because that's where we actually don't realize subconsciously that we actually hurting ourselves. So we tell ourselves, oh, I'm not good enough, or I can't do this. That's not helping us. It's just making our nervous system remember what we are not. And it doesn't think about it, whether it's something you need or don't. It just obeys. It obeys as it is as a child would obeys you. So if you start to be aware of what you say, how you say it, and the energy with which you say it, then you can shift that into something more positive. And for example, if I want to do something, I say, I'm ready, I'm enough, I'm the one. I say that. I say it with passion, with power, because that's what comes through when I talk to somebody. So just changing the words we use and the way we say it, being aware of it firstly, and then changing it. That's just a small step in in the right direction. I think these are little things we can do to change.
Fantastic, fantastic. For the audience out there, this whole program is an initiative of Mental Resilience Mastery, MRM, which has been in existence for 3.5 years across the globe. And for those that are really interested in looking at how they can fine tune, I call it sharpen your pencils, you're welcome to touch base with any of the members. There are many of them out there, or get into Mental Resilience Mastery website, Mental Resilience Mastery, one word in all full.com. And you'll see it'll help you register on that. And most of the work that is done is all complimentary. It's a philanthropic organization. Whatever is acquired in the form of funds to the sale of books, and those are contributions sent to charities, and we support two charities, one in Noida, Earth Survivors, which is basically for the aged community, and the other is in Calcutta, Ment Aid, for the physically and mentally disturbed children. So, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you're looking at support, here is one platform. And we've got people that come in with all avenues. Here you're seeing Fathima with the Unstoppable You. Dr. Mariam comes through with her universal laws practices. Anda comes through with grief to gratitude programs. I run the alignment code, the purpose code, and a number of programs that are available for people, for you to benefit from it. And please take heed of that and make sure you are interested. If you're interested in doing something in that area, connect with MRM. Moving on, Fatima, moving on. How does cultural conditioning impact what we've just been speaking about?
Thank you, David. This is very important. The cultural conditioning is, in different cultures, women are expected to do different things. And in the Indian community, women are considered to be we must be passive, we must be subdued, and we must just take what comes. Don't stand up, don't make a fight, all of these things. And also, I think that's where marriages, in the old days, it survived. I think these days it doesn't survive as well because women are a little different, a different breed of women now in this day and age. Um, and in the previous generations, it worked, but it didn't work so well now. But also, cultural conditioning it comes into where women, like I think in the Indian community, we're supposed to not go out and do things. We're supposed to this is how we are cultured. You need to get up, you need to do get stuff, you get your house cleaned up, you need to take care of your husband. I was told when I was getting married, just make sure your husband is happy, then you'll be happy. That's absolutely misconstrued. It's wrong. It doesn't work anymore. Maybe it could for a while. And they always say, make sure the only way to your stomach, to your husband's heart, is through the stomach. That just means that basically you need to cook well. So the cooking and the house cleaning is the most important thing that comes here. And then when it comes to venturing outwards for your ambition and for doing things in the culture of the Indian community, for example, we were going to climb the mountain. When we climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, we were three Indian women that were willing to do it. And the community was, some of them were supporting us, some of them were not, because they felt, why are Indian women going up there all alone? They're going to be unprotected, and how can they travel alone? They're supposed to have a man with them. But this is cultural conditioning. Yet we did go and we came back and we shared our experiences, which was amazing. And that helped other women. It gave them unconditional, like it gave them unconscious permission to go and do what they want. Not only about climbing mountains, it's about doing whatever you like to do in your life that means something to you. That's where ambition comes. So we are cultured to say we stay at home women and just look after the house and look after the children. That's all you need to do. And that's wrong. That's culture, right? And a lot of times I see in the medical field, when Indian women are going towards studying medicine, if there's a choice between a white woman, a black woman, and an Indian woman, they'll always choose the white or the black, because the Indian women, they say, no, you get married anyway. Why you want to study and you just get married? You're wasting it. We rather give that opportunity to someone else who's going to serve a purpose. So that's culture. It's not true, but it's cultural conditioning, and that's where we need to break these patterns and break this conditioning. That the world has changed from a long time. It just you need to open our minds. And when we talk about education and exposure, that's when we realize women are doing a lot of amazing things nowadays. If we can just see, it doesn't mean that if you're born in a culture where women are supposed to be subdued, that you have to stay that way. It's time to change now. It's time to embody your true self. And true self means your core values. Move with that. And that's where we need to overcome.
Fabulous, fabulous. We are running short of time, so I'm going to very condense a few of these with quick answers. What does the course help, your particular course, Unstoppable You, help women move from awareness right through to taking ownership of their life? How does this happen?
Yes, it helps. First of all, we explore your identity. So your awareness of who you are right now. And are you happy with that or not? Obviously, you won't be happy. That's how you'll be coming on the course. So having the identity of where you've come to, it's your state, the state that you're living in. And we delve into that in a very deep diving situation. For each person, it's different. So once you know where you actually are, we now take you through the process of 10 weeks, and we go step by step into working on your limiting beliefs, working on the experiences that have defined you, working on the things that you want, your outcomes, working on how to navigate through the good moments in your life, how to make those moments count more for you, and then makes you unstoppable going forward towards what you actually want. And a lot of times people want confidence. They want to able to believe in themselves more. They want to be able to say no when they don't like something. And that's what a lot of time we can't say no. We're too scared that someone's not going to love me anymore if I say no, or someone's going to reject me if I say no. But it's not like that. It's that it's against the beliefs we have. So most important is about unraveling, unlearning, and relearning new beliefs, reframing them, and then moving you forward. Because if you're stuck in the belief, it'll always hold you back. It keeps on pulling you back. So we need to move you forward out of that. And once you're out of that belief, you can actually, the world is your oyster. You can do anything you want. As long as I always say this with the with the heart of hearts contribution. I said, do everything you want as long as it's not hurting somebody, as long as it's for greater goodness and highest purpose. Thank you, David.
Fabulous, fabulous. Fatima, the unstoppable lady, can you just, in a nutshell, 2 seconds, all I can say, audience, what would you tell them as a closing parting comment?
I'll say, ladies, please expand yourself, live your fullest life. Life is that short. And don't have regrets. My biggest motto and only motto is live with no regrets. Before it's too late, do what you need to do. And when you get to the end of your life, you're able to look back, join the dots, and say, I did what I could with what I have, and I'm happy about it. That's all. Thank you,
Fabulous,
David.
fabulous. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Fatima, truly appreciate your contribution and coming online on 10 years. We will look forward to meeting you again. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 5 to Wire. But have a wonderful evening. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen out there, audiences, thank you for your participation, whether it's here or in the future. Take care now. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Bye, everyone.